Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Only buy what you can afford to maintain. And this is kind of connected to being disciplined and spending your money. But then everything I say is really connected. When you buy something, especially a major purchase, don't buy anything that you can't afford to maintain. And I'm going to tell you the best example of that is a car. I've known people over the decades who would get an expensive car, but had trouble if that car broke. If that car had anything, they couldn't really maintain it. Indeed, and I've told the story before of this gentleman. He was a contractor in he would do work in Fort Washington, Maryland. Anybody's familiar with that area? You know, that's a money area. That's a money area. Even like the middle class houses, working class houses over there are nice. It's a nice area. If I ever go back down to D.C., that's probably be the area I want to live in. And in fact, but one thing, is known for having some mansions. Some mansions or like big old nice houses and everything, right? All right. Now check this out. I remember the contractor, he told me, yeah, those people got those nice houses, but A, they don't have furniture. B, they can't afford to fix a leak in the roof. And as I'm recording this, it's raining like crazy. So I'm like, wait a minute. So you got some people, they house rich but cash poor. Yeah, they got that big old house, but if something happens, they can't afford to fix it. Their air conditioning break down, they might not fix it right away. I actually knew somebody in that situation. There's a leak in the roof. They can't fix it right away because they putting all their money into the mortgage rather, or mortgage. And then they can't, they don't have the money to fix it. And cars, you got a lot of people, they will get big ticket purchases, but then can't fix it. Because I remember there was a lady who wanted to give me a Mercedes. Let's not get into why she wanted to give me a Mercedes. But one thing she said, well, I give it to you, Can you afford to keep it up? And at the time, I was like, no. So, like I said, why I got it, that's more for the... While I might have gotten it is more for my relationship channel. But anyway, but she did say, can you afford to keep it up? Because, okay, say you do get some like high-end car, can you afford to keep it fixed? Can you put gas in it? Like I've known some people, they got big old trucks, SUVs, but they be complaining about having to put gas in it. It was tough. In fact, I remember there was a time, it was like one of those down periods for me where I had just enough gas to get to work and back. And it wasn't an expensive car or anything, but it can get tight. See, I'm going to tell you what, when you buy something, just don't think, oh, I got it. Can you maintain it? Now, if it's something like, you do like some appliance or something, you got to plug it in, fine. But when you talk about a car, when you talk about a home especially, and maybe some other things, you might be one of those people got enough money, you can get a boat. Can you maintain it? If there's a repair, can you fix it? Because that's the thing. Whenever you buy something, you got to think, okay, how can I maintain this? Do I have money to maintain it? Can I afford this rich car? Can I afford this big house? Oh, yeah, you can afford it, but you might not you can't eat too much. People can't come over and sit on your nice couch. They got to sit on that bean bag. You go to your bedroom, yeah, you got the big house, but, you got those air mattresses. So you don't want to be in that. See, and that lends itself to being disciplined. That means when you make a major purchase, you need to be thinking, And like this earlier this week, I was talking about moving into a better home anyway. I said, look, start budgeting the money you have. See, first, make sure you got the money for it. And at first, during the thing, I had said, think about a way you can make money. But no, I'm going to change that. And I told you I'll change some if I need to. No, don't even think about the place unless you got the money right then. Right then, as soon as you think about, dude, can I afford a place like that right now? You don't want to get in that place and then it's like, okay, like you move into a bigger home or something, rent or mortgage, but you can't afford to fix something, or you can't afford to feed yourself. Or you in a situation where a wrong turn here or there, you can't even pay the rent or mortgage. Always think about that. Always think about, can I afford this? See, that's how a lot of people, I'm going to tell you what, especially, you see it a lot with cars. People will get some car, they'll get some car they don't really need. You know, it's more expensive, whatever. And then that car get repoed. That car gets repoed. Like, it's people very quiet about the repo man. People ain't talking about, I guess with everything going on, they don't want to remind them there's a repo man out there, but there's a repo man. And a lot of times when that thing happened, it ain't always that, they lost a job. It can be, and that happens, but a lot of times they couldn't afford it to begin with. Or they thought, or they wanted that prestige and everything. Like I said, this thing, house rich but cash poor. You do got some people, they barely making it in their homes. I knew one people, they were living in a big old house, but because of the circumstances, there was no power in it. There was no power, no heat, anything. And they were making it, but they didn't need to be in that space. And see, once you start thinking, can I afford it? You don't get into other trouble. You don't get into other issues. You don't come across that emergency. Like getting a car, I'm gonna tell you what. If you're gonna get a car, you need to have at least $500 for a deductible for an accident. And you need to have some money to fix something that comes up. I talked about credit cards last week. There's nothing wrong with having a credit card strictly for like a car or something. If you get a house, you get a mortgage or something, you need to have some type of emergency fund. Stuff can happen, especially if you buy in that house. Stuff can happen. You need, before you even make those major purchases, you got to ask yourself, not just can you afford the note on it, whether it's a car note or the house note, because those are two major things, but can you afford the insurance? Can you afford a sudden repair? Can you afford, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Can you afford just to feed yourself? And it could be something small, because I remember there was a friend and was staying over a place for a bit. And once again, we ain't gonna get into why, but she had a sudden she saw a termite, so she was going crazy. But she had the money to pay to get it like a house fumigated right away, or fumigated, or should I say fumigated? Pest control. She was able to afford it. But what if she wasn't? You always got to think in those terms, okay? So only buy what you can afford to maintain. All right? So that's all I got for now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace. Oh, wait. I'm about to say the wrong thing. Let's go make that money.